seconds remaining.
I think Neon's draft as well, I like it a lot considering Execration. They don't have heroes. I don't think you have the capability to go someone that can have like a Dispel to deal with Neon. Against the Roar, against the Arrow, Chains is nice. Even for the Fatal Bonds as well to get rid of, because they've kind of already showed the Witch Doctor. Often a lot of your hard dispels can come through from your 5, and because you don't know where the Tiny DP is going, if you put Tiny as a 4 and then look for a position 3 like a Legion Commander, it's a bit awkward with the double melee. So I actually really like the second phase from Neon with this Mirana Ember follow-up, but TA does look like it's a very, very good game.
It does. They just need now a position 1 that's going to be able to, again, just match this tempo. Are you going to be able to continuously push forward against this? They're still getting rid of the Faceless Void. Honestly, like, it's unorthodox, but it's something that Fortune Soul plays as well. Wouldn't hate the Leshrac into this. I mean, it's just more damage to be able to burst through the Witch Doctor, deals with a TA relatively well, adds to your push, and I think that's the way that they're going to win. You can't look to match Execration in the late game in my eyes.
I think it's going to be difficult to match them at a lot of stages in this game, but I'm pretty happy with Neon's draft so far. I feel like at least the first 4 picks, it hasn't pigeonholed them too much. They've got a lot of everything. Just see what the last carry is going to be. Is there any flaws, I suppose, that they need to cover? I know you mentioned a couple of heroes, but is there kind of a trend you're looking for them to kind of pick up?
On Execration or on Neon?
On Neon for Fortune Soul.
You just need to go all in on something that's going to help with a push. Chaos Knight does that. It doesn't... The thing that I don't like about it is that it doesn't really synergize amazingly with the Warlock. I don't think the Warlock is going to really amplify too much of what you're actually doing in the laning stage. You're already going to trade really well, and you're not going to get any value out of the Fatal Bonds. So it's fine still because you've got an Ember Spirit and a Mirana to play around in that later stages of the game, but for laning stage, it's just fine.
Trying to see if they can... What if the play is going to be Tiny 4, DP3, and you could consider going for like a Dragonite for Bob. There's a lot of flex, man. They can do anything. Like Bob and Palos really...
Bob TA though, surely.
Okay, so...
Into the Ember, it's a little worse, but it's still Bob, right? He wants the TA. We know this.
So we're probably looking for... Do you need some ball clearer, or are you okay with that? Because maybe he's not going to go...
Fine.
Yeah.
And even Tiny is okay if you run Tiny as a POS 1. Even against the CK, right? You get all of the Phantasm Illusions. You're going to have the Cleave to be able to deal with that. You're going to have the Cleave to deal with the big Zoo that's going to be coming through. You're still getting a good amount of farms, so someone like the Mirana or Ember Spirit that are capable of being burst down can be. I really wouldn't hate to see a Tiny 1 this game. So that would mean I'm thinking of a position 4. I think they still do need a little bit of extra lockdown. Just something to be able to assist together with this locking down the Mirana and the Ember Spirit in particular.
I would like a little bit of AoE damage and some wave clear if they are going down the 4 route. Just because I think you...
Wyvern.
I wouldn't mind a Wyvern.
A lot of physical damage, a lot of hit units, illusions. Pretty much everything's going to be good. It even just gives the team time to be able to set up, right? You curse and then you can get a perfect Maledict off as well, which of course is going to be really effective for your damage.
Yeah, good silence, good Avatos combo. So a lot of like AoE fault that Execration will be able to have. What's the call?
Monkey King.
It's gonna be the monkey. So where are they playing this one? Reveal. Tell me what's going on. It's an offlane Death Prophet.
That's what I was wanting. It is a Palace, so mid-tiny. Okay, mid-tiny against the Ember Spirit. It's not horrible, but again, Ember really can, if he gets a good start to the game, look to bully him out. The Orb of Corrosion, like level 3 or level 5, just spamming out those Sleights of Fist can make Tiny's job a little bit more difficult. And we're going to see Shanks playing the Monkey King in the POS 4 role. Okay. I mean, this is a much more cohesive Neon draft than I've seen in quite some time. Yes. So I'm happy on that aspect. But it's Execration. They're towards the top, right? So there's a reason that you have to think about, previous records and that sort of thing, because the proof's in the pudding. So
What?
I'm gonna say Execration for this one until they prove me wrong.
The what? The proof's in the where? The pudding? What?
Pudding. Have you never? What sayings do you know of? I wanna hear like some nonsense sayings that actually mean something that you actually like. Do you just get everything from TikTok?
No, I do not actually. But sayings. Why? I mean, sayings is definitely a boomer generation thing, and a little bit too young for that. See, I don't remember them.
I'm a millennial.
Yeah, exactly. You're a loser that remember sayings and that's it. I don't know. Look, I'll hear a couple of sayings and I'll register. I'm like, yeah, that's a cool saying. I can see kind of the meaning behind it, and then I won't think about it. I won't really ever bring it up. So the fact that you've got a couple sayings on deck, you're a sayings person. Okay, I understand now.
Well, more than a couple. The amount
I
of
know.
times you've been like, "What? What's that?" Like, God damn it. First the Naruto thing, confusing that for Yu-Gi-Oh, and now this.
I mean, there's kind of just trolling, but that's okay. Any objections? What's going on? So we do have a pause real quick. We're going back in game, so I'll show everyone what's
All of
occurring.
Neon just picked their old teammate in Palace.
Any objections? Alright. Game 1, ready to rock and roll. Execration up against Neon, the team who is flawless against the team who is yet to find a series victory. We are both in agreement, though, that this Neon lineup is... You mentioned, you used the word coherent. I'd follow that up as well. I think it's a lineup that is... It doesn't look like it's really difficult to execute, and I think that is the main thing for a team who is struggling to get wins on the board.
Yeah, I mean it kind of seems even a little like Boom-esque, right? Like just this rotation that's very easy to happen, Searing Chains into Arrow, Chaos Bolt into Arrow, Roar into Arrow. You're going to be able to get these pickoffs, and it's not like they have any defensive supports that are going to be able to break that. There's no Snapfire, there's no Abaddon, there's no Oracle, there's no Omni Knight, so I think they should be able to get a few decent pickoffs here.
Yeah, I think the big thing this game to be able to prevent them from getting the pickoffs is the vision game that Execration are going to be playing with off the back of the Shanks Monkey King. Bob is very far up in the face, but yeah, it's going to be off the back of Shanks just really giving them that vital information, maybe popping a couple of smokes, scouting out these maneuvers who should be in some trouble. Chaos Bolt into the arrow. Vincenzo's still going to do a really good job, though, holding them back with the cast, bouncing left, right, and center, and our Fortune Soul. He might be brought... Well, he's going to go back in, trying to get the kill. But the Crypt Swarm from Tino is enough to secure it. Shanks is going to have the TP up as well. So back to base he goes, making sure that the Shadow Word will not tick him out.
It was a clever little play from the CK. I mean, he was dead regardless, so may as well try and get that first blood, considering how valuable it is. But not going to work out. Just... pretty good team play coming through there from Execration, making sure they realize that they've got a lot of strong ganking potential, but if you're going to clump up around these small spots, the Paralyzing Cask, of course, is going to have a really good level of effectiveness against you. I wonder if the Cask is going to be enough to make Enryu not want to go into the boars at all. I think it might. I mean, you've got a TA paired together with it as well, so Psyblades is a pretty easy way to deal with that little bit of extra damage output as well, and you don't want to be feeding more experience than you need to into a TA. That just means she can rotate through to her own triangle and pick up that farm and just begin the acceleration much quicker.
Dude, Vincenzo's just getting feed down by John. Couple right click after right click. Vincenzo does have a little bit of a damage advantage. See, both of these supports have a Fairy Fire to be playing with. Is that something as a support you're taking into consideration? Like, you're mainly going to be trading with the other support. You need to kind of have that damage advantage. So maybe that's you get a Fairy Fire to help out there.
It's like damage advantage plus attack range. So like a Wyvern, for example, it's got about 400 attack range. You're never going to be trading very easily with a Mirana who's got 630. You know, the Mirana's just going to win every single time. Especially ones like Chuan that like to build into these things like the Urn. And so the Ring of Protection just makes that trading even better. So, ooh, will he be able to get this kill onto Vincenzo? That's the real question. Arrow.
Ooh,
No arrow yet.
he's not going to Fairy Fire.
The leap. I think it would have been worthless. Might as well
Chuan?
keep it for the next life.
Big boy plays. Coming out from Mr. TI winner. So able to get a nice solo kill, giving him some valuable experience. Now he can start to harass out Palace as well. They're actually going to look to TP mid on Vincenzo though, refilling the bottle from Bob. It will not stop Avatar Mode from getting at least one of the water runes. He's going
to get both with the TP.
Okay.
The Witch Doctor though.
Hate to see it. Right, how's this top lane shaping up? We haven't looked at bottom and mid so far. Of course, the stand-in for Neon at the moment. Fortune Soul bottom lane. Palace is, he's not winning this man fight, I tell you what. Chuan gives him the tip, and Ryu, with 2 points up in the axes, was more than happy to pump in that damage from afar.
And you knew that was coming as well, right? As soon as the Witch Doctor revealed there, denying the water rune after he just died previously, that was the call. Go, go, go onto this TA. Make sure that we're bullying her out. Make sure that we're making her lose a whole lot of this experience underneath the tower. Vincenzo's forced to take a couple just so that both the gold and the experience aren't wasted, but still big win coming through from Neon.
The prize is mine.
And now Chuan, he's the one to actually make the rotation. You don't have Vincenzo there with a TP, although bot side and Ryu might be in a little bit of trouble.
Ooh,
I think he will be.
Yeah. Alright, beautifully done. That was 2 points in Maledict? I think I didn't see.
I believe so, yeah.
I think it was out of range of the experiences. Palace is going for... Look at Palos, man. He's like, dude, get out of my lane. Gives him a nice little voice line as well for good measures. And we already see this is able to set themselves up with securing some of the water runes. Already Shank's going to look to rotate Bob. Drop the combo out, but minimal damage into Avatar Mode. At least the Ember's able to get one. This does leave Tino solo up top, but it looks like there's really not much that Fortune Soul and Seh is able to do.
I like that he's just popping the Tango very early on in preparation for any kind of gank attempts, right? He's already got the infused raindrops to be able to help with the damage coming through from the Chaos Bolt. He's got plenty of stick charges as well.
Jesus. Get the Jengu. Oh, he doesn't get in range. Wait. Danog?
Okay. I'll do it because Bob told me to wait.
What happens if I told you to wait?
Tell you to shut up. Actually, it's happened.
Oh,
this is the game.
Oh, boy.
Do you know what I'm referring to?
Man, I've got no clue. You bring up multiple things. What am I looking at?
Bob's in the game. What else is in the game?
Oh, there's a Beastmaster. Oh, yeah, true.
Hey.
Alright, well. Ex-teammates. I'm not even...
Bob Jr.
Bob Jr.
Boju.
Boju.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I like this. I hope we get to see it a little bit more often. Just people naming their summons. Just getting into the enemy's mind. That's really the important thing. It's all about the mindset, the mind games, and Henry, he's got that at the moment. Top lane. That's rotation from Chuan. Chaos Bolt into the arrow. They should be able to get the kill. Shanks playing around with the mischief, and if they're able to do so, meanwhile bottom lane, Henry will tick out to the last Melodic. So Vincenzo, yeah, proved it to be a bit of an issue. We saw that solo kill. Well, we saw the kill prior, I should say, when Palace was alone, but now with the Witch Doctor coming back to the lane, they are proving to be a bit of an issue.
I mean, yeah, those balls are just completely useless in this lane. You're just going to get them bounced on to amplify the death of the stuns.
The
side lanes as well.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I was very close to landing the arrow into Bob, but not the case. They might turn for the combo. Shank's going to make sure they get the full use of the chain control. The avalanche from Bolt was too far of a distance, so they needed that boundless strike just to close the distance, and beautifully done in regards to Shanks. I want to quickly mention, I am not a fan of this Ember's skill build. I think you have to have a point in chains at the early stage, especially with a Mirana on your team. Like we see so often, this 1.5 second stun, or second root, it's been buffed up over time. It's got a really nice value level. We don't see it often, but the only time you really go for it is when you have that Mirana to set up. Shanks top lane.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, there's their setup. Shanks, unfortunately, is going to go down to the combo. Tino trying to offset some of the damage. 3-point in the siphon. It's a decent amount onto Fortune Soul, but yeah, really nothing can do to keep the monkey alive. They're coming top though. Tino is going to be in trouble with a dive from Avatar mode. The rest of Radiant, they're a little bit too slow to connect, and the raindrops not enough to keep Tino alive. But Bob and Vincenzo stepping in. They've got the Melodic under the tower. A beautiful toss to put Avatar mode in a compromised position, and he should tick out to the tree throw. But still, Bob, he's the one that's in trouble. It's got the bonus growth armor to be able to play with the one charges as well, and they turn it back around. They try and refill the bottle. It will not matter. Instead, they just look to toss Shanks on forward. Boundless Strike still on cooldown, but they do have the cast from Vincenzo. And there's going to be a triple kill for Execration up top. But in fact, it's Bob who gets the bounty for every single kill.
Even gets given a tango at the very end to make sure he's not going to tick out to that shadow word that they looked to land on him right before he was put in the grave on the Warlock. And well, that's going to be enough to keep him alive. So Bob having a very nice start to the game. Already 1,200 ahead of this Ember Spirit. And I mean, a big part of that is that it doesn't feel like Neon have really taken advantage of one of the big strengths of their draft, right? We mentioned it before. It's very easy to be able to get a lot of these pickoffs. But as you mentioned, without the point in the Searing Chains, I'd be flabbergasted if he didn't get a point at level 8. But it feels like your chance has gone missing at this point.
Look at this ward on the backline as well for Execration behind the T1 top. It's a little bit more to the right side than what you would often see. But they should be able to catch up to Ser. Another kind of primal spring into the toss. Close to the tier 2 tower, but
they kill him.
Okay, so it's going to be able to stay alive, but you do have at least the tower being claimed. Tino, with this first exorcism of the game, should be able to get a free T1 tower without any contention.
A couple of stacks up in the Radiant Triangle as well. So
they're going for Fortune Soul. There's an Alpha Wolf that they can bounce back onto, and well, there's also a level 6 from Vincenzo. Oh my, he's 7 out of the 8 kills that Vincenzo has been involved in. Such a high experience that the Witch Doctor's playing with, and you know, we're seeing already how much work he's putting out.
Bottom tower is under attack.
It's really one of those specialty heroes, right? Previously, we've seen it, Teehee have the most success coming out with it in previous DPC as well as Pro Series, but yeah, Vincenzo really making it work for him today.
Radiant's bottom tower
Still able to get the trade evenly enough, which is going to leave Neon feeling a little bit more satisfied with the amount of farm that they're going to be able to pick up on the map, but yeah, certainly not the early game that they would have been wanting considering their strong lanes and their strong potential for these rotations. TA hasn't even taken that ancient double stack just yet.
What are your opinions on Chaos Knight after 7.31D? Because we're seeing Europe, in particular Western Europe, is still putting a lot more emphasis on CK than what I'm seeing from other regions.
Are they playing it as a 1 only? I've seen it as a 3 occasionally in Western Europe. Have you seen the same?
I've just seen kind of the hero sheets on Wikipedia. I haven't looked further into it, so I'm not quite sure.
I think it's a bit of both, just because I feel like the CK, I mentioned it before, he is an incredibly single target hero. And with the meta as it is right now, with a lot more push, Henry is probably going to die here.
Man, that's fast movement speed. Instantly just closing the distance with the haste. He's going to look to reveal the blink as well. They are everywhere across the map on Execration. And, well, really, Neon... oh, they're getting something out of mid lane? No, Palace is going to be okay. I was going to say, Henry, he's had a decent past couple of minutes where he was able to find that T1 tower and then get a little bit of free farm bottom, but that's a big kill to be able to slow down this Helm of the Overlord.
Got to make sure that he's actually buying those components before he dies. He could have very easily bought the buckler, not have any unreliable gold lost. Eventually he buys it, but it's just a little bit of gold left on the deck, and we know about a Beastmaster, right? It's all about hitting that timing around the Helm of the Overlord.
Shadows, take us.
So yeah, what I was saying before is like Zoo meta, CK, not quite.
Oh, you don't have
good.
to. Oh. I see, don't Mr. Bobby Boy. So Zoo meta no good, or CK Zoo meta? Is that what you were?
CK Zoo meta not as good. Very single target, can't deal with it quite as well.
See the moment though, Execration, that Withley just is continuing to go. Neon, they attempted to make a play. I guess that's a nice thing with the Murano. You can always use that Moonlight Shadow instead of requiring a smoke out of yourselves mid lane. We'll be able to get the kill onto Avatar mode. We'll get that Remnant out, but it does force him away from this area of the map, so Bob's going to be able to secure another power rune.
Blessings.
Bit of a siege crypt to play around, but you do have the exorcism, so I wonder if they're going to look to converge around Tino, or if it's more about making a play elsewhere so that Tino has the freedom to bait out some TPs and then push in that lane on his own.
Oh, and Ryu. Not again. He just saw Bob with the smoke getting popped. They're gonna wrap all... no way. Okay, fine. But it takes him time. The TPs are starting to come out. Oh, what a beautiful rock. Says able to drop the fatal bombs as well. And Ryu, he's still alive. Limps back to the safety of the lane. Now to the tree line is Bob. He's gonna hold him back with the avalanche. He's got blink up in 2 seconds, but they have the vision. They'll run into the tiny in the tree line, making sure there's no escape. Okay, they get it. I was gonna say, hang on a second. No chance he still makes it out of this one with those jukes, but in the end, Neon, they got a 2 for nothing. Now, the mid lane is under a bit of pressure.
Oh. Should still be fine, but this is what I was talking about before, right? You have to... The way to win Dota a lot of the time is to make the enemy team have to make difficult decisions, and that was one of them, right? Do we look to rotate and try and save our Beastmaster, our main tempo controller? They did, and they did a great job at that, getting a couple of kills as a result. But they didn't rotate the TA, they didn't rotate the Death Prophet, so Execration still gets something out of the trade. So very clear to see why they are one of these teams at the very top of the standings, undefeated so far. Plays like that are the exact reason.
Yes, it is some much needed kills and an experience though being picked up for Neon. That Withley was continuing to grow, but they're going to put it in a position where it's not too hard to contest. We also saw the power of kind of the team fight when it is able to come out. I mean, it was a beautiful combo from Ser with the Golem and the Fatal Bombs. Again, though, it is going to be another power rune secured for Bob. Multiple power runes in a row. This time it's going to be the Arcane to play with. Do we feel like Execration, are they in a position where they just need to continue finding kills, or are you just happy with you getting the farm onto Palos?
The kills are fine. I feel like you just want that next little scaling item. I think Bob has phase boots coming out to him now. TA's almost got the Desolator for herself, so it's once they've got that they're going to look to converge again. I mean, Exorcism's only 40 seconds away, so it really feels like it's probably going to be around that next siege creep timing for Execration that they look to make something happen.
Cautious, take the ball slow now. Neon, they're starting to converge on his area. Wukong's command controlling the outpost, but still the Chaos Knight. Well, he doesn't give a damn about this. He's going to charge in the middle. But Vincenzo, though, offering their damage with the Melodic and the Death Ward. That should be a dead Fortune Soul. He's going to try and bring the Monkey King into the grave with him. But hang on. The Lifesteal actually might be enough. And it looks like that's going to be the case. And Ryu gets the triple kill off the back of that skirmish. And Neon, another successful fight for them.
The lifesteal helped out, but he made sure that while he did take a decent amount of damage from it, he just popped that magic stick immediately after the initial damage. So that's really what Maledict is based off. It's not based on the amount of damage that's been done since it's been applied. It's based on the amount of health lost since it's been applied. So he just made sure to get as close up to next to 0 damage taken, and then the Maledict just wasn't as useful.
Tino and Bob should be able to kill off Chuan in the Dire Jungle. Let's pick off for Mr. Bob. Man, look at his net worth, though. And, alright, he's going to be going down this Midas route. So, we had a really nice interview with Mr. Natinawal from X3 over in Eastern Europe. We kind of spoke a lot about... Oh, we'll hold this thought, because mid lane, we do have kind of some pressure coming out as Neon are able to find the kill into Vincenzo. Do you feel like Execration are in a position to defend this tower?
Radiant structures are fortified.
Not without Tino. I think they need Tino. And well, he's making the TP, but he's lacking a little bit of mana. He's going to be able to pop the Exo, but not much after that.
Oh, and Ryu, his life pool just getting zapped away, but what more can you get out of it? Haste, look at this Rockman go. Chains, the only issue to hold them back. Intercepting the aggression coming out from the Tiny, but they get the silence before the Remnant. Bob's going to try and close the distance. They should have to bound the strike as well, but it's still on cooldown. But it will not matter. Was not enough distance to play with the Remnant. He was lacking mana too, so Tino, he gets the double kill. And uh-oh, meanwhile, Palos is already taking Roshan as well.
That's just the speed that Execration do a lot of these things, right? Before you know it, they're already half done something else. So, yeah, it's again, mark of a good team to be able to do that. I honestly didn't think that we're going to be able to make that rotation, considering that Tino was just so low on mana. He was so close to finishing up the BKB for himself as well.
They're going to be able to fight here. They have this ward on the higher gun. Warlock's priority #1 with the silence going to prevent the combo, but hang on. Palace's first life just got obliterated, and Neon, they've got all 5 to be able to take this skirmish again. Fortune Soul, they're unable to deal with the Phantasm. Phalos, he has another round of the Refraction, but the Rock holding them back. It's going to buy a little bit of time for Fortune Soul to retreat to the north, but Tino hunting in, just charging forward. Deals with a carry onto Neon. So in the end, 8 is claimed, a death onto Shanks, but you also get the buyback and the carry kill onto Neon. So not the worst fight for Execration.
No, not the worst indeed. He really needs that next item coming through on Fortune Soul here. It's basically just Armlet Echo Saber that he's got at this stage. You could compare that against the TA. Like, her damage output is just through the roof compared to CK. 4 levels ahead on this TA right now.
Jeez.
An easy shot.
Alright, real quick with this Tiny, we spoke to Natty Narwhal and he was saying that it feels like if you go Blink Echo and you have a couple deaths, this hero can just kind of fall off. Midas enables you to have that plan B. And it's really nice overall to what this hero provides. You like attack speed, experience is really nice on you as well. So gives you a little bit of scaling so you can kind of go down that almost right-click route as well if required.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense for sure. Natty Narwhal was such a nice guy that it's hard to refute anything that he says.
Dire's top tower
How could
is
a
under
narwhal be
attack.
wrong, Danog? I don't know. Like you said, such a
Dire's
mythical
structures
creature.
are fortified. Radiant's bottom
They even live.
tower is
They live in like the Arctic or something.
Probably more than likely.
They're real. They're real in case you were wondering. They are actually real.
Narwhal.
under attack. Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Do they look like kind of... Hang on, what's
Radiant's
going
middle
on?
tower is
Twan.
under attack.
It's just a casual Mirana trying to beat onto a T1 tower, and he's got 4 heroes just jumping in his face. A little bit
Yeah,
mean.
not sure what that's about. I mean,
Tino.
they had the vision control. Ooh, that's
They're going
an
to charge
early
with the
roll.
high gun. It's a lot of damage to start, but Tino feels like they can take the fight. Exo committed, trying to move on forward. Bob, that's what they needed. The chain control to hold back the escape avenue. So Execration find another 2 kills. They do lose this bottom T2 tower, so both sides getting a T2 to their name, but quick movements from Execration. They're already at the top.
Fortune Soul has to, of course, be a little bit careful here, but the space that he's able to farm just is shrinking with them being able to take that. It's not quite so easy for him to go to the Ancient Camp as it is for a TA. And that experience lead is growing. It's 5 levels now instead of the 4 from just a few minutes ago. Would it be flamey to say that it felt kind of like Chuan was playing back in 2012 when he was winning TIs?
Well, I mean, oh no, again, another support might be blowing up. Yeah, 1 for 1 to start the fight. They're going to try and chase down Palace for the moment. That's a long reality if drag back. And alright, they get the kill. Beautifully done. That was all off the back of Chuan. He was just a bait. He set that up. 2012
Sure.
Chuan, let's go.
Let's go. But yeah, it did feel like he was just not respecting the fact that Execration had TPs available. Like, this isn't the old days. You have a TP slot now. It's not like something that you're going to get caught out with, you know, just having a TP not purchased. It just felt like a really weird play considering your team was so close by. You have Hawk for vision. You had that high ground vision as well. You just got too greedy. You can't afford to do that against Execration.
No, they are a team in Division 2 that is always going to be able to capitalize on mistakes. Mid lane, Enru should be able to get a solo kill into Shanks, cut down the tree, follow up control on the Raw. Oh, nice mischief dodge. Ooh, they should get him. They've really made him work for it. Oh, not the Bob Juniors. No. Where are they? There they are.
Next to the Thunderhide.
Run, Bobby.
It's more of a waddle than a run, really.
Yeah, that is true. Why can't I inspect? Oh, well.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Oh, it's glorious.
And Ryu? It's gonna run into Bob and Tino. Right, if they've got the ward, so they're gonna see that no one's really behind Enryu. They might jump the Beastmaster. With this information, should be a pretty easy pickup, but they gotta do it fast. Tree throw's gonna be enough. Do they have the damage to get rid of the Death Prophet? BKB is a potential. Tino, he's gonna be cautious of the Chaos Knight. A beautiful timing with the silence.
Oh,
it's gonna prevent the damage coming. Now Vincenzo as well with the cars, bouncing back and forth, and oh, look at them all crumble. 3 down on Neon. It might just be a wipe as well as Avatar mode gets a little bit of distance with the Remnant. 1 more available. They'll turn to Ser. They can even charge up the high gun afterwards. They know that Avatar mode, he's got no more mana. He's got no more health as well as Execration. Fine all 5.
It's just another one of those really greedy plays, right? Like just standing inside your own jungle, no vision, tiny off the map, and he felt like he could just take back the outpost with none of his teammates nearby. That was a very uncharacteristic error coming from Enryu, and look at how heavily it punishes the rest of the team. They feel like they can still fight because they're like, this is our jungle. We should be able to do this, but clearly not. I mean, Execration are just so far ahead, most notably Palace. He's reached up to his level 20. He's got that Meld Dispels now, so great way to be able to get rid of the Fatal Bonds, great way to be able to get rid of the Spirit Vessel, Searing Chains. There's so much that you can remove off of yourself.
Dire, they might feel like they could take a fight though. Oh, 6,000 gold behind, it's not easy, but you know, Exo's on cooldown. BKB is soon to be up though for Execration, but you really need to deal with the vision on your side of the map, and it looks like finally they should be able to with this cliff ward. Oh, maybe not.
Do they have any detection?
Detection.
There we go.
Are scanning.
It's going to be very important for them to take back that jungle as well, considering potentially 1 minute away is that second Roshan. Of course, very important for them to be able to claim that. Don't believe anyone has their Aghanim Shard except for... Actually, Beastmaster and Warlock both have theirs, but still, Chaos Knight, very effective. Ember Spirit's very effective. Mirana's terrible. So... there's really just 2 great choices to be able to give that second shard to if you're able to win a fight and then claim the RS.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Do you like this though from Neon? They are trying to get top shoved out so they can play some wards down, because Rosh is going to be that next big team fight. Execration, they're already starting to move on over. They're going to be a little bit too late with the chain control. Avatar mode, great reactions with the Slight. They're going to play with this higher gun ward. Execration, got to make sure you don't group up. 2 heroes are going to do just that. They get the combo out with the toss away, but it doesn't matter. They toss Tino into the middle of the fight, and a Bob as well caught out in the river. Drag back, plenty of damage from Fortune Soul once he's got the illusions. Oh my, Neon, really nicely done. And Roach is up in 45, unfortunately. It's not too early, so I don't think they'll be able to get it.
Radiant's top tower is
We'll be at least able to get this tier 1 tower, though. Maybe even look to start pressuring the second. They see
Palos? Palos? They're going to buy back on Vincenzo. Yes, Shanks is nearby, but I don't know what they're really able to do in regards to the supports. What? Vincenzo! What is that damage? Palace needs to deal with the Black Dragon. He's able to do so easily and can blink into the tree line. So, alright, you lose Vincenzo. You might... Jesus Christ, that arrow just tickled the hairs a little bit there from Shanks.
Just looking at it go. I mean, there's just Vincenzo things, right? His positioning on this Witch Doctor has been pretty damn good so far. But you just see how stressful it is when you've got this big horde of Beastmaster units starting to come at you. So if they're able to get this next Roshan on Execration, he's going to be feeling very happy because he's got the Aghanim Shard queued up just for that 2 seconds of invulnerability through the Voodoo Switcheroo.
Oh, not the Voodoo Switcheroo.
Got a problem?
No, not a problem at all. I think it's a cool shot. I like the name of it, really, that's all. How much damage do you reckon he's done this game in regards to... Hang on. Bob? Running down there. Should be an easy kill. Enryu's going to use his time to try and get top lane shoved in before he's forced to TP out. So
They can't be giving those free kills away when you know Roshan's up.
that is a very, very good point. You're gonna... Warlock is so vital to your team fight. Hang on, Enryu, he hasn't TP'd out just yet. Shank's gonna be able to catch him out of the tree line. He was sticking around for a little bit too long. Felt like he could get some more damage into the tower, but that is not the case.
The Beastmaster does not need to be there. As long as your units are doing the work for you, you can get out and making sure that you're playing safe around this Roshan. And look at this. 3 broken shields, going down to 1 now for the TA, just to be able to instantly claim it. At least they're pushing a little bit in the bottom side. I don't mind this from Chuan. I mean, this is the sort of rotation that you kind of want to make. Yeah, he'll die, but if the rest of the team were alive, then that would have, again, made them have to make a difficult decision. Instead, because 2 heroes died for absolutely no reason, Execration are able to get that kill and the Roshan.
So you get the Aegis onto Palos, you get the Aghanim Shard, onto the Templar Assassin as well. Oh, and what do you know? There is just apparently a Gleipnir completed as well from Mr. Shanks or the Monkey King. So he is very, very rich.
And a Daedalus on Palace as well. So you want damage? You got it. It'd be very nice to just have that extra little bit of lockdown against the Ember Spirit, against the CK Illusions once he pops the Phantasm. I believe it was the TA that took the Shard as well, so
Dire's middle
to be able
tower
to have
is
that,
under attack.
that's not amazingly useful, but even just for the little bit of extra silence in being effective against the Ember Spirit, if he doesn't have that BKB
Dire's
available, would be
middle
nice.
tower has fallen.
They got a really good ward inside the base. If they're going to jump straight away. Looked like they were pinging out that ward, maybe with how Execration was starting to path straight towards it. Yeah, multiple pings are coming out, so imagine once they're able to deal with the lane, they'll go back and try and de-ward, but bottom is the name of the game here for Execration. Palace back on wave clearing duty. And we'll see what the call is going to be for Neon if they want to try and look to get set up. Kind of the classic play from a Dire side when you're this far behind. It's just warding the Tinker ward to the right of the T2 tower down bottom and trying to take a fight where you catch them off guard.
They've got a decent amount of magic damage on Neon's side. With the Aghanim Scepter on the Ember Spirit, he's almost reached up to his level 20. Of course, the Fatal Bond, Starstorm, and they've actually been able to pick up the Ceremonial Robe. So it's actually a really nice ability to enable their burst-heavy style of draft. Every single time that they've been able to take a fight around an area that they control, it's worked out really well for them. I mean, that's exactly what a Warlock wants, but as long as Execration just keep playing around the areas that they're controlling, then they should be feeling pretty satisfied. And of course, it's only once the high ground needs to be pushed that you're in a position where you're kind of forced to go against that mantra. But of course, you've got the Aegis for 2.5 minutes, so take full advantage of it.
And Ryu's doing some shenanigans. He's had the boar and the hill troll summoner now, just cutting the mid wave, so at least you're not going to have multiple lanes shoved out as an option for Execration to play with. And they're actually going to look to smoke up and move to bottom instead of trying to maybe just crack the high ground. This might catch them off guard with Palace showing in the lane.
Soul doesn't seem like he's any the wiser either. He won't be able to instantly join his team as well, so you know you're going to be able to get this outnumber if you catch anyone. Luckily for Neon, it's just Chuan. Support going down for a full cross.
Look at the vision.
Movement. Very worthwhile.
You got to go straight back to the triangle. And for Neon, you need to occupy this area and de-ward it. You've got an opportunity now. 5-10 seconds, maybe not even longer. And you see the beeline for Execration. They know how important this area is to control. It can open up kind of mid and bottom, the lanes that they want to be pushing. And you just can't lose this ward as well. So really lovely call from Execration. And unfortunately, Seh wasn't in a position to move on over there and get rid of the ward on the cliff.
I think they know they're coming as well. They saw the smoke being popped because of this Observer Ward placed on the high ground inside the Radiant Triangle.
Hang on, Avatar
Just
mode.
played a little bit ahead.
Oh my god, that Remnant. So close to getting caught by Bob. comes the siege.
Dire's middle
So they're
tower
easily able to
has
deal with the
fallen.
Fatal Bonds.
Dire's
Got the Lotus
middle
Orb on
barracks
Tino,
are
Palace
under
with the
attack.
Meld, and the
Dire's
barracks,
middle barracks
they're falling. They're also grouped up. Vincenzo doesn't give a damn. He's like, all right, I'll just jump in the middle. I'll give the health back for you, lads. They are just so far ahead. Toss in, Bob. Who have they found? It's going to be Enryu. Taking the Beastmaster out of the equation, but he's got to buy back. Going to look to rejoin instantly. It's a beautiful golem with the Fatal Bonds as well. The damage, it's really starting to ramp up. Down to the south, Fortune Soul. He's cut off the one. He's going to turn to Palos next as well. We're starting to see this Chaos Knight prove to be an issue for the moment. Once he's able to lock onto his target, Tino, what reactions with the Lotus Orb, but nonetheless, they get the first stun into the arrow follow-up. Tino, he'll be protected under the cover of the BKB, so he'll make it out, but I mean, 3 other heroes from Execration will not have the same fate, and all they required was a buyback out of Enryu, so a pretty goddamn good defense from Neon.
Get the double damage as well, so if they wanted to make any kind of pushes start to happen, they could absolutely look to do that. And Ryu just going back to the triangle to secure...
Hey, Bob! Bobby, they got this one on the higher gun. He wasn't aware of this at all. He's going to try and just stand his ground toe-to-toe up against Avatar mode, but does not have the damage when Kobolds have multiple heroes mauling onto the Tiny. And, man, I'm really impressed with Fortune Soul and how much damage he's really pumping out in these fights. Like, the KDA's nothing crazy. I know the rest of Neon are also in these team fights, but says spellcasting has been really solid. But then Fortune Soul, when they don't deal with the Phantasm, is able to bring down targets easily. We really see how different of a fight they can look.
A little surprised as well that they just didn't look to continue pressuring forward. I mean, you've got a DP with no exorcism, a support Monkey King, a support Witch Doctor, and 2 dead cores. What if they didn't have buyback? You knew they didn't have glyph, and they just kept splitting up, wanting their next item. I can understand wanting to feel like you're catching up a little bit, but when you can be the one to even out the situation with these lanes, with these racks, I think it's just way too much of an opportunity to let pass up. But they will have the AC now on the CK. I believe they are very close to finishing up the Boots of Bearing. Actually, you could do it now if you wanted to on the Beastmaster. Maybe just wanting to wait until all of those drums charges are used first, but still a rough spot to be in.
Is there one side that you'd feel a little bit more confident with their scaling potential in this game 1?
Scaling, probably Execration, just because Tiny still isn't that real right-click carry. You know, he still hasn't got a Hyperstone for himself. He hasn't got the full Moon Shard. Monkey King, we've seen he can scale. He's already got a Gleipnir, right? So he's going to be able to farm. Doesn't have a BKB yet. TA, almost as big as she's going to get. Witch Doctor just needs levels, so yeah, I feel like Execration is still in a really good spot.
Mid lane, they're baiting the wave. Early Remnant with the dive bomb. They were able to start onto Vincenzo. Reactions being forced. Execration revealing their position. So they're just going to all group up and turn. The Helm of the Overlord. I mean, that's a big bounty to find. 250 gold, of course, is never a joke. Dino's just charging up. Sir? They're going to lose their ward to play with. And Fortune Soul, he did commit the Phantasm as well. Let's see if they look to try and defend the outpost. Change to start. Bob's going to be in as well with a combo straight on towards Marana, but the rock onto 4 Fatal Bonds as well to mix up the damage. But hang on, Fortune Soul, they've been able to target down the Chaos Knight for the moment under the cover of the Moonlight Shadow. He's going to be able to escape to the north in Avatar mode. He's back in with the combo. Is able to blow up the one. Traps towards the backline, but where's the follow-up? Execration, they don't feel safe. They don't feel confident. Without anyone being brought down on Neon, a 3-on-5 in Execration, they couldn't pounce on the opportunity of a weak Chaos Knight.
Yeah, Neon were actually in a really good position nearly in that. I mean, it was a great rock coming through, but the Fatal Bonds actually went onto the Lincoln Sphere from Palos, so it didn't actually link up with anyone. So could have been such a huge amount of damage being output there, but just not the case this time around. Next time, though, that's really what they're going to be looking for. Can't look to link up the TA. Honestly, even if he used it onto a Lotus Orb, that'd be pretty catastrophic. You've got a good amount of AoE damage coming through an Execration, so if they turned that around onto Neon, they could just evaporate as well.
Waiting on forward. Jinsol though. Back up to the safety of his high ground. See how confident that Execration are playing though. Feeling like their map is theirs for the taking. Bob's got this moonshot now completed. You've got top lane shoved out. So this will open up Roche. Third one of the game's going to be up in 25 seconds. And Execration, they've got all the map to play with. It's going to be Neon that need to enter into Execration's domain. Chuan mid lane might go down. Bob's going to be able to jump on forward. It's got also that little bit of silence coming through from the Mindbreaker. So beautifully done. That's a dieback it looks like as well.
It's such a big deal, man. It is such a big deal. Like, dieback, when you know Roshan is now about to respawn, these are the sorts of mistakes that you just can't afford to make. Mirana's a big portion of their damage coming through. No Wraith Pact, no Starstorm, no easy way to engage onto areas that you don't know is warded with a Moonlight Shadow. Even just the scouting.
Vincenzo. It's another 5 that might bleed a kill. Voodoo switcheroo, but no. I don't know. Phantasms can just wait for him to pop out of the shadows. So yeah, both 5s going down.
Roshan is up though.
Third one of the game. Aegis, Cheese, and Refresher Shard are all the components. And it looks like Execration are going to... Dude, this is Roach. Oh my lord. Oh, it's not long for this world at all. We got the Refresher Shard onto Tino. Aegis and the Cheese actually given over to Bob. Never mind. Tino's gonna hold the Cheese now. Okay. He's, you haven't really spoken a lot about Tino. 5-2 and 14. He's really starting to pick up these items and soon to have the level 25 as well. So if he goes for that extra exorcism spirits, his damage is really going to be a big concern for Neon in these fights.
I just don't want to be labeled a Tino fanboy, man. I think DP is one of his best heroes. I think it's a really solid pick for them, for the current meta that's existing. I feel like it just fits his playstyle so much better. He's a player that likes to get in, get down and dirty, and look to make a lot of the play happen around him. You can see Lincoln Sphere popped onto him. He's got a Lotus Orb for himself as well. Ooh, a little bit late on using the Fortify there, so they're not going to even be able to push out the creeps inside the base.
Yeah, and, well, they're going to lose their base. These heroes take him pretty goddamn fast.
Faster than a Beastmaster on his own, that's for sure. And this is that scaling potential that I was talking about. Tiny, he's making his TP back. He's almost reached level 25 as well, so we'll just have even more of that damage output. But Hyperstone, Mindbreaker, just more and more attack speed.
Did smoke up on Neon as 5. Nice scan. I don't believe
it's
this...
obvious though, man.
Yeah,
look at the base.
It's very
There's
true.
creeps in the base.
They're going to clump up. Do you drop the ward on the cliff to take a fight? Exo's on cooldown. They're going to do just that. Fortune Soul charging forward. They're going to get the start of the Chaos Knight again. The Rock, though, buying some time.
That's a good one.
Fortune Soul's going to try and turn around with the combination, but the damage is starting to ramp up. CK is able to sustain through it all. Trying to evade to the south, but he won't be fortunate. And Apollos, he can reign supreme. Going from one target to the next, but still they haven't dealt with Avatar mode. Off to the left side, Bob's in. First toss into the second. And they get rid of the Ember Spirit. Vincenzo pumping out the damage as well. As Execration, they read them like a book. They knew exactly what was happening. So obvious with the creeps being inside the base. Like you said, the scam was perfect. Then they all clumped up for that fight. It was just perfect for Execration from start to finish.
It was, but it was a really great initiation coming through from Seth, realizing the value of his own life. He really didn't want to be in a situation where he just could not join the team. So obviously, having a ward on that high ground would have been beneficial, but it would have given up his life and any hope of them even mounting a small chance of winning that engagement. Bob, he's just continuing the push. They're going to commit all the buybacks.
He doesn't have
Bob will try
BKB.
and retreat. Yeah, they're constantly putting damage into him as well.
Oh, they're going to get him.
Off. Nope.
Ooh. Tino.
Keep chasing. They still haven't used the roar in that previous fight, so...
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Hunting Neon. Smell blood in the water. Tino, what can he really do to protect himself?
Arrow.
Alright, it's gonna come in a little
they
bit
were
too
silent.
late. Tina with the BKB. They've got the roller to stop this. And they should have the damage afterwards as well from Fortune Soul. He's got the level 25 on the Chaos Knight. Damage ramping up, but you hold your last set, but again, your base, it's not looking too pretty.
Squad can defend. I mean, the Starstorm doesn't have any, like, unit limits, so he's just going to be there looking to push it back. I really actually want to see him get an Aghanim Scepter on Chuan. Like, he is approaching that level 25, 4 levels away. If he can get that extra Starstorm damage, combine that together with a Fatal Bonds, it is a crap ton of damage that you're able to output.
Palisade, he's got a DD as well. He might have one-hit the Warlock, make it 3. He's gonna get at least the ultimate off. That's a death ulti. Fortune Soul though. Oh no! CK goes down. Palace is doing way too much physical damage. They just do not have the armor to be able to answer all this DPS.
The power Lincolns, man. If you only got one BKB piercing ability in the Raw, that's why it wasn't used in that previous engagement inside the Radiant Triangle. Otherwise, honestly, Neon probably win that fight. So, just the small things
and
like...
Ryu?
I don't think you got the damage. I mean, this is just delaying, but again, you're delaying for a dieback timer, not even just a regular buyback.
Oh, they might get the Warlock. Aesthetics Cat from Vincenzo. Got that kind
I
of...
think they will.
Looks like they won't. Voodoo gone. Wait, hang on. Bob, wait. Defaults are gone. Bob is just up to objectives. BKB for the moment. Nothing they can do to go through it. Avatar mode is trying to deal with the supports as best as it can. Pops a refresher, bouncing back and forth, but he's soon to be out of mana. Just has enough for one more remnant out, but they've got full control directly on top of the throne. Execration. They know the name of the game. Straight to the juggler they go. And they will be able to take game 1 43 minutes in.
Well played by Execration in being able to find and punish the big mistakes coming out from Neon, but there were a few very easily identifiable ones coming from Neon, though, right? Just, I think I counted 4 separate instances where different people were out on the map on their own when there was a lot of uncertainty as to where the main gank squad was on Execration, giving up their lives for free, particularly around that Roche timing, and even just at the very end, not being able to pop off things like the Lincoln Sphere with the Fey Grenade, which Ember Spirit was holding for quite some time, but at the end he was just like, look, I'm never getting usage out of this. I got to switch to a more beneficial item like the Spell Prism. It was just too many small mistakes that added up into so much more. It's a shame, though, because that comeback was certainly possible, but it gives them hope, potentially, for game number 2. This is the exact kind of draft that I want to see them going into again.
Yeah, we were saying that it's a draft that at least seems like the margin of error isn't crazy. Like, you're able to make a couple of mistakes. The lineup can be somewhat easier to execute, and a team that hasn't been able to find their first series victory yet, you really need a lineup to be able to thrive and have that opportunity versus some of the better teams, and Execration are definitely one of them. So there were some bright spots in this game, one for Neon, but at the end of the day, there was just more bright spots for the lads on Execration. They're able to capitalize on some of those mistakes. And, we also saw, like you said, there was some really nice comfort picks being picked up as well. Palace Templar Assassin, Bob on the Tiny, Tino Death Prophet. I was also very intrigued to see how much damage Vincenzo had at the end. He still had the lowest. I thought he did a little bit more damage in the laning phase, the early game, kind of the mid game as well. But everyone else was pumping in so much damage.
It was more about just where he was able to place himself so that he was always able to land the perfect cast, right? That was just bouncing between two that enabled the rest of his team. Like having just Exorcism on top of their head for Bomb to be able to get that double Avatos onto people. Just like the side blades, of course, chaining through as well. Things like that. That's really where Vincenzo was shining. And it was honestly in a game that was pretty damn difficult for a Witch Doctor to play. You're going up against Vision coming through constantly with the Beastmaster Hawks, Dive Bomb eventually, Blink Dagger on the CK for a stun, plus Chains, plus Mirana follow-up. It is very, very difficult to play this game on Vincenzo. I think he did a pretty good job.
Yes, without a doubt he did. I was very impressed with the Witch Doctor, and overall, impressed with Execration and how they were able to execute this game one. So they're going to be the victors to start off our first series, at least our game one of the first series. And we're going to find out what Neon, how they can hit back in game two, how their draft is going to be able to shape up, and if they can wipe the slate clean. We're going to send to a break. We'll be back in a couple of minutes.
This is so sick.
Can we just go back to playing games now?